Hello friends, my name is Dr. Vinay Singh. I am running for Assembly in California Assembly District 10. I have vision to make California great again and I need your support to transform my vision into reality. To support my vision to make California great again, you may please visit my website at drsinghforassembly.com. You can go there and comment, contribute and support. I really want to hear from you. Also, even a donation of $1 from you will greatly support my campaign, Make California Great Again. Today I am here to discuss with you how will I fix the corrupt democracy. So, as you know that in democracy what happens, there will be an election and winning candidate actually or elected candidate from the election, he or she basically rules the country. That is the definition of democracy, where elected person is the boss of the country. But what is going on here, the principle behind democracy, I will discuss what is the principle behind democracy and how it is becoming the corrupt democracy. So in democracy there will be election, and from the election winning candidate will form the legislative branch of the system, of the democratic system. So election will form the legislative branch and legislative branch will form the executive branch and judicial branch. And here also the in most of the country the legislative branch elects the leader of the legislative office, and he is called the chief executive officer. And chief executive officer is given power of having a department of justice under him, and department of justice is basically an executive branch office and it controls the investigation agencies, and therefore the investigation agencies can be compromised by chief executive officer to make fake cases against any person if he wants or if he needs to get rid of that. So this is what is the structure, and here also basically in democratic structure the three branches, legislative branch, executive branch and judicial branch, they have some power and they have to check and balance each other so that none of the branch exercise their power beyond the limit, whatever power given to a branch. So the check and balance will make sure no one can go beyond that limit. And the next one is the legislative branch and executive branch and judiciary branch together. The idea behind them is that they have to serve the people, the citizen of a country, and the citizen of country basically votes in the election and that process repeats. So in election winning candidate will again form the legislative branch. Legislative branch will elect chief executive officer. It will form the executive branch and judiciary branch, and then they will have check and balance to check each other so that no one can act against their limit assigned to them, and they have all to serve the people. This is the great democratic principle behind any country. But now what is happening, the election, what is going on here, that election is now the first problem. Election is why problem? Because you need huge amount of money nowadays to win an election. And why it is? Because your vision, your message, or what do you want to do for a country, that has to reach to each and every voter. And in this scenario what is going on, if in any assembly district, an average if you have 400,000 voters, so based on the survey, the per voter it is $50 is basically is spent to reach with your message or with your vision. So 400,000 voters and at least $50 is needed to reach to the voters. So you should have $5 million to exactly convince to the voters that what you are going to do through various campaign processes like advertising, knocking door to door, sending mailers, debates, TV advertisement, newspaper advertisement, and so forth. So it needs huge amount of money, and if you are not spending that much money, so your vision will not go to the public. So public will be basically choosing a person to whom he doesn't know or he is not aware of what that person is going to do. So what is basically happening here then? Now only two kind of people are willing to run an election. One, the very rich people, they have money and they can invest money and they don't want any return because their money either through corrupt practices or the huge amount of money, they don't care wasting their money. And second category of people they will run for election is they are able to collect huge amount of donation. But collecting huge amount of donation is also not possible because 66% of voters not interested in any election. They don't come to vote for the election because they know no one will do a great job. Everyone will do something for the country, and anyway one or other they will something do better, so they are having not any issue. But only 33% public or voters, they are interested in countries and politics and they want to elect good people, and from them only wealthy special interest people they give more donation because they want to solve their own problem, and therefore there is a problem with the elected candidate because he lands into corrupt practices and he is controlled by the wealthy special interest. So finally, anyway, either through donation a person is winning election or by his own money winning election, he lands into corruption because he wants to get back its money, and therefore he collects money from various government projects and commissions and other corrupt practices, and therefore he keep winning the election. And finally what happens here is the country is controlled by the rich people and corrupt people. The citizen of country is controlled by rich and corrupt people. So this is what we have to fix. So first problem is election, huge amount of money needed in the election. So I'm not saying that election should not take place, because election is the best way to select the good people who should run the country, and all other offices should be under the elected people so that they can solve the public issues. But huge amount of money is a problem and we have to resolve that. And second problem is Department of Justice, which is directly under the chief executive officer, and that department can be manipulated and can be used against anyone for harassment who is speaking against the government, and therefore president of a country or prime minister of a country who is a chief executive officer may land into a dictatorship, and we have to avoid that situation. So what is the solution? So I have here solution discussed. So before discussing the solution, now I would like to summarize. So what is impact of corrupt democracy? So corrupt democracy is here what happens, it is competition of rich people, and therefore these rich people win the election, and what will happen later, some people, if they have wasted money, they will want to get their money back, so they will try to manipulate the development work. So you will not see the development work on ground because some money for the development will be taken away from bottom to top of the officers of the government to make money for their election. And third one will be the tax and debt money that will be wasted in that process, because some share will go to these elected officials, because they want to run election again and they need money, so that money will be wasted. And fourth one is the rich people above law. In that case, what happens if investigation agency or DOJ is compromised, so they may take bribe from the rich people and they will not take any action against the rich people. So that way our democratic system will be compromised, and that will have the impact, only law will be for the poor and not for the rich people. And and in that case, the fifth one is fifth impact is the increase. It will increase the hunger, crime, homelessness, and there will be a lot of uneducated and unemployed people, and also people will be suffering from mental health, ill health, and there will be other issues such as crime and homelessness will be increased. And the sixth one is that way rich will be becoming more richer and poor will be becoming more poor, and there will be a gap between rich and people. There will be high gap between rich and people, and that is not good for a country. And the seventh impact is, as I told you, the only rich people will rule the country and citizens will be controlled by rich people, which is highly not the expectation of democracy. Democracy is giving opportunity to anyone to rule the country, but due to the high cost involved in running election, this is what going to happen. Only rich people will rule the country. So now I will discuss what is the solution. So first solution is make the election costless. Make sure that none of the candidate spends a single dime. And how we can make it possible? So we can make it possible by funding the election office, and election office will help to campaign every candidate. It will enforce that none of the candidates should spend a single dime, and it will give all the infrastructure, such as it may send information about all the running candidate to each voter with their vision and messages. It may also organize debates on local or national TV channels. It may also provide infrastructure for all the running candidate, like you can develop a YouTube channel from the election office. Professional can develop YouTube channel for every candidate, and that candidate can communicate with the voters what they want to do, how they will change the country, how will make country prosperous, and how they will resolve the issues. So whatever money needed for a campaign, that infrastructure and all other resources must be provided by election office, so that none of the running candidates spends a single dime. But here question is how and from where you will get money to fund the election office. So as you know what is happening, our country is taking every year a lot of debts from other company and other countries, taking lot of debt. Now today if you see, the debt is about $33 trillion, and if a child is born, he owes about $100,000 based on this debt we have right now. So our country is taking debt, and what country is doing? It is wasting that money, giving aids to different countries, which is not required. They are wasting money, and they are wasting that money on many useless stuff which is not needed in our country. That money we can save, and we can fund the election office, and that election office can fund the campaign. So if a candidate doesn't spend a single dime, so the probability is that he will not land into corrupt practices, and he will not misuse the money for his election purpose, and all the money will be going to the right place, and we will see the development. And also, since huge money is not needed, so talented people, a good leader, true leader, who doesn't have money or he doesn't have idea how to get donation, that kind of people also may come in politics. They will run the election, and that way they may rule the country. So good people may rule the country instead of rich people. And second solution is, since Department of Justice is directly under Chief Executive Officer, so he can manipulate the investigation officers, and investigation officers can make fake charges against anyone and put them jail. So that may land into dictatorship. So what we can do is, we can make 4 branches of democracy. One is executive branch, other is legislative branch, the third one is judicial branch, and fourth one we can have a DOG. That branch will be taken out from the Chief Executive Officer, and it will be controlled by legislative branch, and they have check and balances on each other, so that the Chief Executive Officer cannot interfere in the independent DOG, and DOG, head of DOG can be only impeachable. It can be impeached, then only he can be removed, and he can be elected or selected by the legislative branch. So that way the President or Chief Executive Officer will not have power to manipulate investigation, and therefore our country will not land into dictatorship. And third solution is zero tolerance to corruption. Why it is? Because it may be possible, if you rule a country, there will be opportunities to land into corrupt practices. If you become greedy, you can get lot of money through different resources, using your power, misusing your power, or through unlawful activities. So to stop that, what we can do is, we can have artificial intelligence based computer system, and here what it will do is that it will first compute the income of a citizen from all his resources of income, and then it will compare that income with actual yearly income of a citizen, and if it is found that the actual yearly income of a citizen is more than all his resources, all his or her resources of income, so there is some problem, the money is earned through corrupt practices, and then we can proceed with the legal action against him, and court will take care of that. So now here in brief I will describe how will I fix the corrupt democracy. So what I can do after winning the election, we will start a debate among the citizen, among the congressmen, among the senators, and we will start debating how we can make election costless, and I will, based on that, we will bring a bill to have a costless election based on the solution I provided, or we can also find other solutions and merge together, and we can get a better solution. And second bill will be, I will bring the second bill which will make sure that DOG is autonomous body, it is impeachable, and it is not controlled directly by Chief Executive Officer, but all the branches, 4 branches will be there, all branches will check and balance each other as per my solution I discussed before few minutes ago. And third one will, I will make sure that zero tolerance for corruption. So as I discuss the solution, I will bring a bill to implement that solution, and we can have a zero tolerance to corruption. So this way I think we can make sure that our democracy will not land into corrupt democracy. So before finishing this discussion about how will I fix the corruption, I am going to describe for you that how you will recognize who is a true leader, how you will find in your society who is a true leader. So I have depicted a picture here, if you can see at the bottom. Just an example, I have a mountain here and another mountain here. This mountain is I have described as darkness, and this mountain I have described as brightness. And in these two mountain there is a big ditch here. This is like you can compare with lot of problems, troubles a person can face from going one mountain to other mountain. So this is just analogy. The darkness is here, brightness is here, and in between there are a lot of troubles and problems, and it is not easy to go to the bright side of the picture. So what a true leader does, a true leader basically becomes a bridge between these two mountain, between darkness and brightness. And so I have depicted here, he is sleeping on these two mountain, and on his back or her back the citizens crossing this darkness to the brightness. So that way what he is doing, he is resolving all the problem. He has become bridge, so the citizen will not get into the ditch or problem, and they may move from darkness to brightness. So this is the actual character of a true leader. He will always think about public and make sure that he can bring prosperity and good culture in society, and everyone will become a good citizen of country. So please let me know what do you think about this video. You may please comment, contribute, share, like and subscribe. Thank you.